you need to introduce yourself, I think, for the people that know you.
Yeah.
I'm
a DIY.
DIY.
So, the people that see this who might be part of my audience, I'm Scott DIY. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, every other platform, and I create content about the renovation that I'm doing right now. And it's all about showing what's possible when you put your mind to learning something new.
And that's that, yeah?
Yeah.
And here we are now then, so we're on the tools. I ask you a big question, are you a tradesman or are you a DIYer?
I'm a DIY.
And you're going to say that forever, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say that forever.
Amazing, right?
So, do you want to know why I'll say that forever? Oh, go on.
Because I think the other DIYers, if you call yourself a tradie, they're going to be pissed off because you haven't gone to college.
100%, yeah. 100%. So, like, if you haven't gone to college, and well, okay, depends on trade. Step back. The people who've seen me, the people who've seen my journey know that I'm a qualified electrician. So there is a trade there in the background.
Are you an electrician?
I'm a qualified electrician, but that came before I started my content creation journey. And I try my hand at all different types of trades: bricklaying, carpentry, everything, right? And I don't call myself a tradesperson because I don't work for the people to fix things.
You work yourself?
Or fix things or build things for their house. So I'm a content creator full time because I only work on my projects. I only fix and build the things that I want to fix and build.
What current projects have you got going on?
So the one that I'm working on right now is my own house. It's basically...
And what area in the UK?
I live in the Midlands. It's a 3-bedroom semi-detached. It's 1930s, so it's quite an old house. It's got quite a big garden, but the problem is when I moved in, it was an absolute wreck, and it needed a lot of work. And previously,
are you living there, or are you in and out?
I am living there, yeah. So previously, before I moved into the house, it needed everything doing: plumbing, electrics, everything. And I worked in marketing for 13 years, and I had no trade experience whatsoever when I started the project. When did I do it? So I did that whilst basically part-time. It took about a year and a half to get the qualification.
So how long ago was that?
That was about 2.5 years ago.
Okay, so it's quite recent.
Yeah,
right?
so I started my content creation journey about 2.5 years ago. That's when I was doing the qualification. So basically I realised I need to know something very quick in order to be able to make this house look a lot better than it does and function properly. So I was a man in need of doing something important, and I took my time to do it.
Supports you doing it?
Surprisingly, yeah.
I love the fact you're smiling, man.
I mean, I'm amazed as anybody else is that my partner was like, you know what, I believe you can do it. And I have massive respect for tradesmen, right? So they are absolute experts in their industry, and the reason why I'd never call myself a tradesman is because I am not an expert in a particular trade. I'm not. And I don't think I will be.
Sorry to interrupt you, bro. Would you work for someone ever?
Would I work for someone? I'd spend time with other people for free, learning from master craftsmen or the tradesmen to be a better DIY.
In life, I think you'd call it stay in your lane, yeah? And you're learning your own way because that's how you learn.
Yeah, 100%.
So earlier on we're talking, and I do a lot of podcasts, right? And we're talking about the school system and how you learn this, that, and the other, right? I definitely am different to a lot of people. You're different. I can feel it. I can see it. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, I feel like you kind of fallen into this for whatever reason because you were like, well, they didn't do what I would have done, and then snowball effect.
Okay.
So before DIY, what was your original job?
So
I can feel eyes, but it's not bad eyes.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand like the question.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 32.
32. So when you were 19 years old, what were you working at?
So it's an interesting story, right? So my dad's an engineer, and
that's where it came from.
That's where it's come from. So my dad is an absolute respect to my dad. He is a precision engineer. He's at the top of his trade, and he is what anyone would say like a master craftsman.
When we were over there, I called you precise.
Yeah.
And your dad's a precision engineer. fuss.
And so I have learned to use my hands from a young age, but when I left school, it just so happened that circumstances dragged me into a corporate office environment. It was marketing. I don't know how that happened really.
Don't worry,
So
we can come on in a minute.
I don't really know how that happened, but it did. And I ended up going into the world of marketing, and I'm like quite a switched on guy, and I learned the root of marketing. I enjoyed that. I like to understand what it is that people resonate with and what words to say to make somebody feel something or do something.
But that's also now helps you because what
Yeah.
most people haven't learned in their business career, you've already learned.
Yeah.
But you're now unique because of that, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I've learned a lot from the corporate environment, how big businesses run, how to market a company. And then when the time came that I realised I didn't really like sitting behind a desk and I wanted to spend my life on the tools in some respects, then I started to renovate my own house, make the content, and within, I don't know, half a year, I started to see some like really massive progress into this new business that I was building.
So if we stick to the progress in your house, tonight you got a roof, like the extension's got a roof on it?
Yeah, so I started the extension about 2 years ago now, I think it was, something like that. And the extension is fully done. So it's like, I dug the
Did you get
footings,
down there and do the groundwork?
I dug the footings, I got the concrete poured in, I levelled it off, I laid all the bricks.
What concrete did you lay?
C25 concrete.
God, man,
Mate,
it's good, but you know what you're doing.
You
man.
ask me any question, I know it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's because I've had to do it.
So
And
how many GCSEs have you got?
not many. So I just about
I
passed.
feel like you're academic, man.
Not really. So I passed maths, C, I failed English. In fact, science, I got 100% in my science exam. I don't know where that came from, but I got every question right. I'm a bit of a nerd. I'm obsessed with detail, and when it turns to learning about
It's
construction,
lovely to speak to you, man. It's wicked.
when it turned to learning about construction, I found I could hyper focus on detail,
Yeah.
what concrete I needed, how much I needed, the sizes,
What they
bricks.
call it, and I learned it from a cameraman, is neurodivergence, yeah?
Okay,
Yeah, and that's when you can hyper focus
that's a new one on me.
in different ways. Yeah, I didn't know it.
And what does it mean?
Neurodivergence means like, I don't even know, mate. That's a good question, but he'll be able to tell you. But neurodivergent, it means we're different, right?
Okay.
I'm different, you're different, I think.
Okay, yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
That's A-OK, yeah? That's a good answer. That's probably the only test I've ever passed in my life.
Yeah.
However, I'm very educated in tradesmen stuff because I wanted to learn. So
Yeah.
I had to focus. So
Yeah.
I've done like X, Y, Z to become. Like when I asked about concrete, yeah, like I originally was a carpenter, then a plumber, then a gas engineer, then an electrician, right? And not a lot of people would know what strength concrete would be, you know what I mean? And you said to me, ask me a question, I know it. Like, that's not a divergent thing to say.
Well, I actually made a massive mistake in the kitchen because the first piece of concrete I ever poured, I asked for C35 concrete, right? Which is like hard as nails. It's industrial
And it's
strength concrete.
expensive.
It's industrial strength concrete, right? And anyway, it turns. I had a project earlier this year, which was to install water and underfloor heating in the house, but I had to remove the concrete floor that I'd already poured, which was only like a. It was like a 1.5 meters by 2 meter slab. That's it, right? And I had to remove that. Try breaking C35 concrete up. It is absolutely solid.
What did you use to get it up?
I used a jack, like a big jack. Like it's just ridiculous.
See that content though, yeah? That content is going to be very good for him to watch because that's an expensive mistake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not for you because you fix it yourself.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
get like obviously a builder or whatever, not that you can probably test concrete. Like once it's down, isn't it?
The thing is though, it was like steel, like you
Yeah.
bounced off it. It's like you ping it and it's like glass. You know, it's not like soft at all. And I should have known, but I didn't at the time. And
there's so many houses,
you learn.
mate, that are built off the wrong concrete.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, if you overdo it, it's not really a problem unless you have to remove it, which I did. Anyway, I made a video about that, which a lot of people laughed at. And the thing is about my content is I'm learning and I'm showing the people that I'm learning, and everyone loves that.
Yeah, and I think you're right to stay or say, you know, DIY, because fuck it, man, you're learning, you're earning.
Yeah. The thing is about DIY, right, is that eventually, at some point, a DIYer becomes, because of the years of passion they put into learning, they become very good at what they do. Very good. And
that's what I'm saying, though. Like,
that's where
like
hobbyists come
concrete
in.
thing. Fuck, man. People here that are going to be watching us tomorrow, next day, this, that, and the other. They learn. You know what I mean? I can know what concrete you're pouring. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah. I mean, I've had to, on this journey, I've had to learn how to mix mortar and get it just right, even for the temperature of the day. You know what I mean? It makes all the big difference. And I've had to learn about timber, all the different types, sizes, how it warps, what nails, what screws, when to screw, when to nail. It's a massive thing to learn.
But on a serious note, out of a DIY, what's your favourite power tool brand?
Favourite power tool brand? Well, I've always, since the beginning, used DeWalt. So it's got to be DeWalt.
Same as me. Mate, I get offered packages all the time about signing for a brand, and I'm black and yellow, man.
Okay.
So like my van is black and yellow. The back of the van is black and yellow.
Yeah.
Like, as in like colour coordinated.
Sure.
Like everything's black, all yellow.
So DeWalt suits you, right?
Well, I did because of the wall.
Yeah.
I made that. You know what I mean? But anyways, there's a lot of Makita men in here, and
there is.
that and the other.
And they're all fantastic tools as well.
Makita's good, it's cheap, but
Well, for
it's
me,
ugly, isn't it, man?
yeah, but for me, like, I've always used those tools. Like, my dad bought me a drill one Christmas when I was younger, and it was a DeWalt drill, and that's what triggered it for me. And ever since, I've never looked back. You know, they've never let me down.
So it's Scott_DIY.
That's it.
Is it?
On every channel.
Easy does it. So your platform is the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Same as mine.
Yeah.
I don't understand when other people put like, I'm on this, that, and the other. It's got to be branded.
It's because sometimes you can't get that name
Get
everywhere.
everyone in.
Yeah. Lovely chatting to you, mate.
You,
honestly.
yeah, you're a good man.